everyone was like so cling to me because I was like this biracial kid. So they're like, is he actually Swedish? But I am. I am. Like, actually, you know?
Meet Mercxcet. He has over 500,000 followers. He's a singer, rapper, and songwriter who's also very funny, intelligent, and down to earth. Let's go.
Love is the answer. It sounds so corny and cliche.
Mercxcet, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. What's up, everyone?
Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. You want to know about his name? Let's talk about it.
Right when I heard this name, I'm like, okay, Mercxcet, Percocet. Like, how do we get this name? Do those two even relate?
So actually, they do in some way. Merc is actually like a fighting term or a killing term.
Okay.
So if you ever hear like, oh, this dude just got murked, it's like usually like fighting
Yeah,
or,
I've heard that.
you know, killed. And then obviously like you said, a set is like a loose association to the pain pill Percocet. So when you put the two together, it's like fighting pain or killing pain. So a lot of the music that I've made in my lifetime, it's to like fight the pain or kill the pain.
I love that.
So this is like emotions.
It's
like
got deep meaning.
100%.
Okay, I like
100%.
this. So are you like more like poet? Like, do you feel like it's like poetry when you're writing your lyrics?
I think it's heartbreak. Truthfully, I think it's a heartbreak. You know, I could be really happy and like I could still make good music, but I think I don't really put out like the great substance unless I'm like truly like heartbroken from something.
That makes sense because I love listening to like really sappy songs when I'm like sad. You
Right,
feel
exactly.
it. You feel the music when you're sad. So I see how that
I've
is.
never been the type that actually, a lot of people use music to get through bad times or like, you know, emotionally cling to it. I've never had that. And I really wanted to get to, you know, how'd you get here? So from the beginning, upbringing, everything, family life, I want to know about it.
So I could tell you that, you know, I was basically born and raised in Portage Park, Chicago. When my mom got a better job, we moved out to the suburbs, a little suburb north shore, Skokie, Illinois. I feel like I've been very musically inclined my whole life. My mom knew I was definitely destined to be a troublemaker, so she always kept me busy, whether that was in after-school activities or piano lessons or music. So I was always musically inclined. I did Swedish singing for about 10 years, which was insane. Like, would have never thought that.
Swedish singing?
Yeah.
Swedish singing.
Explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, my mom is Swedish and German, and she's a couple other things, but she somehow got into this like group of like Swedish people that had a Swedish singing group, and we would meet in the basement of a church like every Friday night, and like there were times where we would perform at like the field museum, you know, with all the Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And we had a Swedish tree, and like at the time I was a star boy. The whole group was all girls, and I was the guy. But they would just be so like blown away about that. They're like, wow, like look at this kid, this biracial kid singing Swedish. Like it's just unheard
How
of.
many people would think you're Swedish?
Probably
like the
none.
language you say. Like, did you sing
Yeah.
in Sweden? Oh, wow.
And how old were you doing this?
I would say anywhere from like 8 to 14.
Oh, that's amazing. That's just another example of, like we said, you know, when you start a craft when you're young, you just develop and you get better and better the longer you're in it.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest like fan of it, but I definitely like the attention aspect. So like I wanted to figure out how to like, you know, do my own music and still kind of grab that audience, you know, in my own way.
Yeah, it's stepping stones. I know, like, I wanted to do music lessons when I was younger, and I wanted to go and sing like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears. And I remember they're like making me sing do, re, mi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I'm trying to like be a pop star here.
Right.
But you have to do that kind of
You
stuff.
got to start at the
That's
basics.
how you learn.
Yeah.
Well, you said that. Oh, no, I just had the question I was going to ask and I forgot. You wanted to, oh man, that really sucks. I had a question and I just forgot. Now it just came out of my head. I'm sorry.
So after that though, so then you did your Swedish music. Like, how did your music, like, what are the building blocks?
So I would say after Swedish singing, I think the thing that really got me fascinated about recording my own voice was for my like 12th or 13th birthday. My mom got me some studio time with like me and 10 of my good friends at the time. And I really wasn't listening to a bunch of music, but I could tell you I was a really big fan of Transformers. So very big fan of Linkin Park.
Oh, slang.
She got me just like 2 hours of recording time and then like a pizza party afterwards. And so me and like 9 of my friends basically got behind a mic and started singing New Divide by Linkin Park, which was like the Transformers theme song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when it came out, like even though it was like so corny, it sounded like some like kids bop shit, like still was fascinated with how my voice sounded behind a microphone. And I knew I wanted to pursue that passion, you know?
Shout out to your mom for all
She's
these
awesome.
amazing things. I can already tell.
She's awesome. I definitely appreciate her kind of keeping her hand on me and making sure that like I tried all this different stuff, because I don't think I would have ever found music as my passion if she wasn't so persistent with it, you know?
Yeah.
When did it start getting really big for you, when you actually started progressing?
I would say probably a little bit, maybe halfway into the year of 2021. It was kind of just like when I really first started stepping onto the music scene and trying to be more vocal with my intent in Chicago. That's when I met our good friend Kush Poppy. Started doing a lot of like charity work with Steve and Twan and all the other guys like Hanny. We got really close from doing the exclusive turkey drive.
Oh, I remember that.
Right, followed up by the toy drive, and we did that for a couple years. And I just got really close with all those guys, and it allowed me to, you know, raise my platform. One of the first big shows that I did in Chicago was actually curated by you.
Oh yeah.
And it was on a Sunday in December.
Yeah.
And we had to have had over 250 people.
It was
in
a
there
great
easily.
party. I mean, that
You know?
party was already amazing too. Like, it was awesome. And I remember having you there, Chaz Ortiz. Shout out Chaz.
Oh yeah,
He was
Chaz
there,
pulled up.
and
That
it
was insane.
just a great time. And that was the first time I ever had seen you live and heard you live, and it was just awesome. It was just a great vibe all around. Live music is amazing.
Thank you, man. I mean, you know, I'll always remember that. You know, you put your trust into me, and it's crazy how much has happened since then. So I'm forever grateful.
Oh, that's amazing.
Always.
I love having that, because a lot of times my parties will be a platform that literally will put an individual, and I see them years later, and it's just amazing. And I feel like with that party as well, I mean, the vibe was all night. I mean, we were supposed to do your birthday too just recently.
Yeah, we did.
But we didn't, because we had Kevin Hart.
I know.
instead.
I was telling people that. I'm like, you know, it's kind of hard to like go up
Yeah.
against Kevin Hart.
I had
you
to tell you, I'm like,
even I understand.
Yeah,
you know?
I
Like
felt
I would
so
book
bad.
Kevin Hart too. You know?
I felt so bad. I was really excited. We had his birthday party booked, and all of a sudden I heard Kevin Hart's coming. Like, can't do that now,
Yeah.
you know?
I totally understand though. It's all love at the end of the day.
Oh, that means we got to do it again.
Oh, we will. 100%. We'll run it back.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, okay, so you like to write music out of pain. So, like, what are the typical things that you're writing about? Is it love? Is it like what kind of gets you in those feels?
I would say the most part, it's definitely love. Sometimes I talk about my family trouble. I don't have a lot of family trouble, but you know, I think a lot of the times when we're on social media, we don't really show like our flaws and stuff. We don't talk about family trauma. And even though I like respect my privacy and I respect my family's privacy, I still try to be vulnerable in the sense where, you know, I express it in some way. But most of it is failed relationships. Most of it is feeling like I wasn't enough for someone. So definitely stems from love for sure.
Like Taylor Swift. You and her got that like same gene there.
Yeah, 100%.
Watch out. Get a bad breakup, you're releasing a song.
Yeah, I think some people get nervous. They're like, oh, I don't know if I could mess with this guy, you know, because if I break his heart, he's going to come up with an album. But I'm like, hey, that's motivation. You're inspiring.
Some of the songs are the best. Like Selena Gomez, the Justin Bieber one. Like, because Taylor Swift actually told her to like write in her emotion. It was Lose You to Love Me. And then she launched that song. I thought it was like one of her best songs ever. I was almost crying listening to it too. You can just feel the raw emotion.
And it helps people. I mean,
Yeah.
you really love our theme song.
Oh, Pink Pony Club. Yes. You know why I love that? Because my mom made me have a feeling of it. She's like, this song reminds me of you. So then
That's
I really
awesome.
sat and listened to it. And then I thought of my family. So yeah, I love that. I love that your music's emotional.
Can you think about a song in particular that's really from the heart, you know, it really paints what we're talking about?
Something that I've made or something that like I've listened to that
You've made. Because you got a lot of songs. How many songs and albums do you have? I mean, you have an album, right?
I have, I would say right now I have 4 different projects out. 3 of them being albums, 1 of them being an EP. I would say at this point I have over, I think 55 songs out,
That's awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
which is insane.
And you
Like,
wrote them all.
I've written every single one. Yes,
That's amazing.
I'm not like a freestyle artist. Like I've seen some people do it, which is great. Like I get blown away, but I'm like one of those people where
Yeah.
like, I'll probably be on the freeway and I'm like driving and like
Yeah.
a hook comes into my head. If it's something that's really good, I'll literally pull over and
That's awesome.
and sit there
Yes.
until I finish it. Or
Yeah.
I'm a toilet guy, you know, like
Yeah.
you never know. I might be sitting on the toilet, but like seriously, I'm a writer. So
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
we laugh because she freestyles.
I'm an insane freestyler. Like if everything else failed in life, put me in front of the mic.
you're kidding. You
Yeah.
actually freestyle?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes it like I think
Timing
even,
though,
yeah.
certain timing.
Certain timing. Yeah. Usually I like to be like drunk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
It's all
I
right.
have more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I learned about myself in general is that like even when I like am selling stuff online or if I go live, I always work so good off the cuff. So like I can
Yeah.
rhyme really well. It's a crazy talent. Sometimes it's a little embarrassing.
I gotta see that. for real.
I know. We'll go out. We'll go out one day.
Okay.
You
How
won't
does
be able to shut me up.
How does that feel now when you perform? Do you still get that nervousness? Is it
I would say no, not nervousness. I'm more eager to understand the crowd and what I can do to better myself as a performer.
sure?
Obviously I've had like, you know, a bunch of different moments where like there might be like awkward silence and you just, you know, you kind of just learn to bounce back from it and then just learn where to pick up. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it affect my performance. But like I said, I'm really big on trying to make the next performance better than the previous. But everything is a stepping stone along the way. So I'm very like open to constructive criticism. And like I said, always working to be better than the last.
Continuing to get better is huge. We were just talking about that with this podcast. Like, you know, a lot of people are just kind of complacent or just stuck in a place where they actually have the ability to progress, to get more views, to grow their podcast, but they're not, you know. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But we're definitely not that type.
No.
You know,
don't
we
wait
just
for it to be perfect.
Yeah, we
Right.
just want to keep growing. And I think that's any individual in life. The more you grow, the better you get at the best version of yourself. The more enjoyment you're going to get out of life, the better it's going to be for yourself. So it's like you have that power, and I wish I could put that in everyone to do that, to do something, to put into work because it's
Yeah,
work.
you do have like to learn.
Thank you. I mean, it's not easy, you know. I think a lot of people, and I'm not talking about us three because I think we have the bigger picture on
Yeah.
what it takes to win. But I think a lot of people are so afraid of what others are going to think of them, or I think they're so afraid of maybe being broke for a little bit, or someone's so afraid of, you know, how other people are going to perceive them. And it's just like, you know, you gotta just really buckle down and not be too worried about what anyone else thinks, because you have to be so delusional that you
Yeah.
woo it into existence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, some people think I'm crazy, and I mean, rightfully so, I am to some extent. But like,
we are.
I've always believed in myself, and
Yeah.
because of that, like specific trait, like it definitely has gotten me in doors I should not have been in yet. You
Yeah.
know, I was just talking to a good friend of mine about this. How like I just spent, you know, like the last 3.5, 4 years, I was a regional manager for BP, specifically Thornton's. Thornton's is kind of like a Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
would,
yeah.
like a
I didn't know
higher
this.
quality
Like
gas
Thornton's.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I like spent almost 4 years, you know, working my butt off there, and I never got a chance to meet the CEO. I never got a chance to really be close with the director of operations. But as Mercxcet, I've literally gotten to have one-on-one meetings with like the CEO of Ethic,
Yeah.
or the CEO of Blazy Susan. Like these are like really big
Yeah.
brands,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
excited to know Mercxcet, or like Four Loko or Mamita Sosa.
Yeah,
Like, these
yeah.
are huge brands, and it just shows you like I put time into believing in myself, and I got into conversations in rooms that I would have never gotten into just by being like a regular clock in, clock out guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was doing both, like, and I'll still do both to some extent.
Sure.
You know, like I really try to tell people, like, put a lot of time and emphasis into yourself, because it's gonna
Yes.
pay you back tenfold.
That's absolutely huge because like I own my own company as well, and it's just a whole different ball game. And I feel like people are so misled. Like they think you have to do the 9 to 5, and quite frankly, like even family, like, you know, for me, they were kind of like wanting me to do the 9 to 5. They didn't want me to take this chance on myself because they didn't see it. Do you feel like you've ever had situations where people are like, okay, like stop chasing that dream, get serious about something else?
Yeah, I would say I think for the most part my family's been like really supportive about it.
That's
but
amazing.
sometimes
good.
like I go against the grain with my mom, because like in my opinion, I think my mom is like the most financially sound person like in my entire family. Like I'll give you an example. Like I just had a family member just close on like almost $1 million house, but like they reached out to my mom for like the down payment, and like they live in a very modest home. I mean, my mom bought a house in Skokie for probably like $200,000. It's valued now at a little bit over $5 million.
Amazing.
But like it shows you like there's people that are like, you know, living a bigger lifestyle than they probably should, and like they come to my mom for like financial advice, or they come to my mom for a loan, And so like when my mom tells me something like that, it kind of makes me get in my head a little bit, because I'm like, okay, like, is she saying this because like she's worried about me? Like, am I going to get a wife? Am I going to get a girlfriend? Is she saying this because she thinks I might put too much time and emphasis on my music and it might stop me from, you know, kind of blossoming into those relationships? But I just like try to like really tell myself, like, you know, the right people will be there. And I won't have to change who I am as a person. They'll kind of like just add value to it from the get-go.
And you just said something key. It's you have to tell yourself. And one of the things I say over and over, I want it on my tombstone, it all comes down to the things we say to ourselves and our perspectives. 100%. No matter what, everything in life, you know, and like you were talking about believing in yourself. Like, I don't know how you feel about affirmations. I'm an affirmation dork. Like, I've said it to myself a million times. Like, I have an undeniable belief in myself. I think I'm the best at what I do. Am I? I don't care, because that's what I believe. I've said that to myself 1,000 times, you know? So it's really about that belief in yourself.
I agree. But I mean, you're living proof of that.
Yeah.
You have your hands in so many different things, Eric. And I tell people this. I'm like, this dude's like Batman, bro. You just recently became a director of marketing. For,
chief marketing officer.
While being like a wolf of Wall Street for like the entertainment and nightlife in Chicago, while still promoting like mental health. Like, you're the only person I know that does that effectively in our space, because like I tell people all the time, I'm like, sometimes it's hard because I'm like, I feel like I have to like be drinking or like smoking or something to get around people, because like a lot of the times the people that we're around, they're like under the influence of something, right? And you don't want to be in an environment with loud music and then everyone's like all like messed up around you. So sometimes you feel like you have to join in. And you've been very good and straightforward on saying like, hey, you know, like, if you want to have fun, that's great. And I'll always encourage that. But I'll always also encourage, like, you know, if you are going through something in your life, maybe like the club and nightlife scene isn't the right environment for you
taking a step back.
And like I'm telling you, like this is why I wanted to emphasize it, because you're like the only person that does it so like efficiently. And
Thank you. I appreciate
you for that, man.
I mean, it's a lot of work, and and now I just feel like it's come to the point where I'm like kind of born to do it and obviously it works for a lot of people. I mean, I know it doesn't help everyone, right? But I've just heard so many people, so many messages, and it's just like, now I just want to keep on doing it, because it just, you know, as when you help people, when you inspire people, it makes you feel good. So then why not do it as much as possible?
You're right. It doesn't really matter about how much money you make and, you know, the kind of car you drive, the house. It's like how big of a positive impact did you leave on people?
It really is. No, I feel that. And I've heard that too. And as you get older, you realize that.
Yeah, that's the biggest flex at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like almost everyone, we said this with Pearl, like, I wish we could have the mentalities that we have now in our 20s.
Oh, yeah.
But you had to like
be too unstoppable.
You have to, but you have to go through life. You have to live. But I feel like that's why I love doing this podcast, is because people in their 20s right now, they're going to be hearing this over and over and over, you know, whereas we didn't have that in our 20s. So I think it's going to be really good for some people that maybe they will realize younger. Maybe they will take a different path. You know, maybe they will avoid some pitfalls that we did because of the stuff that we're saying right now. So that's what I really love about this podcast, and I want to do it. I want to talk to you too about viral clips, because you got a couple.
I do.
And the one recent one is the one where you're like $4,000 space, you know, $4,000 table at Space, Miami. The girls are just going to leave. Like, I know some of you girls that are going to do that shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, wait. Explain this, please.
Say it. Tell them.
Okay, so basically, I went to go visit like a good friend and a business contact of mine. He lives out in Brickell, Miami. And there was a night that we went out, you know, we were enjoying ourselves. At this point, I was a couple, you know, drinks in. I was well off into the night. And this guy, like, I guess he notices me. You know, I don't know if I was like stumbling or like saying some funny shit, but he's like, dude, you're so drunk right now. Like, please, can I interview you? And I'm just like looking at him, just like, yeah, sure. Like, you know, why not?
Like the Hawk to Us situation, like those, like where they come up to you? Okay, so he got you.
This guy is like very well known in Miami. Like, it's called The Desirable Truth.
Yep.
And he's like interviewed a lot of like actually well-known people. And then I got to actually get to know him as a person. And I found out that his cameraman is actually his girlfriend. Cause I was like, when I was like introducing myself, I was just like, she was like, oh, like my name is so-and-so, like I'm his girlfriend. I'm like, you're out here like filming with your man. Like that is like, I
Awesome.
love that because
Yeah.
I was telling her, I was like, you usually wouldn't see something like
For
that
sure.
in Chicago. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way. I couldn't like imagine like a girl being with me and like helping me grind with like a music
Yeah.
video or
Yeah.
studio session.
That's what you need.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
And so like when I saw that and they're both a young couple, I'm like, wow, this is actually real. And I got to stop being so in my head about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically, he came up to me. We got an interview done. He was just asking me about like,
What was it? I forgot.
he was just asking me my age. Like, am I single? Why am I single?
Yes.
And I kind of started diving into it. I was really being a troll, and I wanted to let people all know that from the get-go, because I was basically saying like, you know, I've basically given up hope in like Western civilized women, and like I've become a passport bro, and I'd rather find a wife out in Cartagena.
Okay.
It raised a lot of like,
for sure.
people like very upset with me.
Yeah.
But like anyone that has common sense, they know I'm trolling. I'm just saying it because I
Yeah.
want to get a rise out of people. And somehow, some way, it like for the people that like actually were paying attention to my message, like, I think they appreciated what I was saying. But like 90% of the people, they were coming at my forehead.
I bet.
The way I was dressing.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Because
Like
they
my
felt
mom,
something
yeah,
from
they're
it.
saying I'm a simp. They say I lead with my wallet, and it's
amazing.
like, you know, I get it. I purposely did that. Haha. I
Yeah,
won. You know,
yeah,
sorry
yeah.
guys, I got you guys to say something. But I mean, it really took my my like Instagram platform to the next level. So I mean,
That's amazing.
any publicity is good.
All
publicity.
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
And you got to just be able to drop ego. At the end of the day, I feel like it's the time that we live in now. And it's almost like the more outrageous you are, the more you're going to stir up, the more you're successful you're going to be
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this platform.
I used to tell myself, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do like all the stuff, like the feed the bee stuff. But I'm just like, you know what? Like when I act that way, it is genuinely funny because I'm just like a personality, you know. Like some people could do the same stuff, but like they're not gonna have a response the same way I am because I'm just goofy, silly, like I look funny. So like me trolling is a little bit different than someone else trolling, and I was just like, you know what, like. The only reason why I'm thinking that way is because what? Because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think of me.
Exactly.
It's the same trap. So I'm just like, you
Yes.
know what? I'm going to say this. And anyone that really knows me knows I mean well. You know,
For sure.
I obviously respect every single woman in my life. And it's nothing to do with that. It's just, you know, I've had issues with relationships in the past. And so I've learned that traveling outside of the United States that, you know, that there's different morals, different values. And it doesn't fall on the line with like every single woman in the U.S., but it's more so reminding people that like there's more to the world than just the United States.
For sure. And at the end of the day, too, it's nice to meet people that don't know who you are to begin with.
Oh, 100%. It's a breath of fresh air. Anytime I leave the country, no one knows who I am. I mean, not a lot of people know who I am yet in the United States, but it's very like.
Well, just in our scene in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
people, you know, it's like when we meet someone right now that knows us from social media already, it's a different dynamic now. It's a different
Yeah.
platform. It's not the same as meeting
no,
someone.
and when you have, I mean, I'm sure you can attest to this too. People treat you different when you have followers. People, you know, right now when I meet somebody, if they know who I am, I have to literally ask myself, like, do they really want to be my friend, or do they? And not that I have a lot they could use, but
Yeah.
I've ran into it, and I'm in a sticky situation right now, as you know.
Yeah.
With, you know, I think girls are more brutal, but I did want to ask you,
They are.
are you? So okay, we're gonna explain this. So you're single.
I am.
What I'm taking from that.
Yes.
And now you're saying you want someone. Where do you hang out to meet women, though? That's what I need to know. Where are you hanging out?
Well, I'll tell you this, like the last girl that like I was in like some type of talking stage with, like it was church.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
great.
Yeah, like I did that route. I went to the libraries. I went to church. I went to the places where you would expect to find your wife.
And why was that one? Why did that fizzle out?
I just don't think she likes me, you know. And it was my fault because maybe I was trying to push a narrative that wasn't really real. Maybe it was just because like I'm like literally delusional, and I was probably creating this model of this person in my
Yeah.
head, and so indirectly I was setting expectations for this person when
Yeah.
you know, like I was kind of just trying to lie to myself, you know. And she's like she's a sweet girl. She's very like quiet and put to herself. So I think maybe like she was trying to spare my feelings. But like
Yeah.
I'm at the point in my life now where it's like, yo, if you don't like me, that's fine. I'd rather you just tell me now so we're
Yes.
not wasting time.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Just be honest.
Because I don't want to be in my head for months and months
Yep.
on end. Like, what if? Like, what can I do different? Because I just went through that, and I'm like, yo, like I'm here for her. I'm showing up for her mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're both from the same religion. That was another huge thing. Like I love her family, But I'm realizing like, yo, if I get too close and like she doesn't feel the same way, I'm gonna really hurt myself. And like I said, I'm like, I could deal with a crash out when I was 21, 22, maybe even 23. I can't do that
You
as
might drop your
27,
best
29.
song.
Because of
You
that
know?
last situation, I just came out with a new project, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback from it.
I'm
So
excited. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm not regretting what I just went through.
Yeah.
But I just
I get it.
I don't want to
get it,
waste
though.
time.
Yeah, and it's hard, and especially when you feel like you're getting older, you feel the pressure of it. I was married young, so for me, I don't really feel the pressure. But like all my friends at the age I am now who aren't married, they feel so much pressure because they're like,
Really?
"This is the time I need to be married," and I'm like, I get it though because you know
Yeah.
you want to start a family, and so a lot of times you're gonna pick somebody that maybe you wouldn't have naturally because it's just kind of slimming. The pool is slimming down.
Yeah. The older you get, too, it doesn't make it any easier. And I feel like you pointed out something, too, that all of us do. We all speculate.
Yeah.
We all think how a person feels, or it's like when we just should have that conversation. Exactly
Yeah.
what you're thinking, you should just be able to honestly say to that person, and you honestly tell me how you feel, because we will waste a lot less time.
Social media ruins it. It
Yeah.
ruins it because you look at someone on their page, they could be totally
You
different than
automatically
that.
have a
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I introduce myself now, like unless like they know me and like they already know who I am, I honestly don't even tell people I have social media.
I feel
Just like
that.
I'm like
feel
give them my
that.
number and like I'll feel them out, and like
That's smart.
if I think that they're like
Yeah.
in the right headspace to be able to deal with someone like myself, then yeah, I'll tell them about it. But I've had so many issues with it, and
I
it's
bet.
like
Yeah.
it's like now it's not even a good enough excuse because it's like really like I'm not like this portrayed like man whore or thought or like some dude that's in every girl's DMs, but they get that I'm given that perception
Right
because of
away,
my
just because of who
Because
you
of your
are.
career.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
of my
Career,
presence,
yeah.
and it's not fair to me.
Yeah.
Because I really am trying to find something like real and genuine and old school, and I'm just tired of having that hung over my head because there's so many times where I've like wanted to just delete my Instagram and not
Yeah.
be a part of this because of the narrative that's been put
It's
over
not
me.
you. I feel that way even on mine because I'm always doing skincare in my videos and I never have makeup on. And so I don't get to show like my personality sometimes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just people
Yeah.
think I'm like a really
It's your job.
poshed CEO. Like they feel you wrong. So I could see like you want something traditional. When you see a rapper, you don't really put traditional, rapper.
Sometimes I don't even
situation.
identify as a rapper anymore because it's when people, I don't know what it is, but it's like when sometimes I pay attention to people's facial expressions, and when some people introduce me as just the rapper, they're just like, oh, like you're a rapper, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to tell people like I'm a musician,
Yeah.
I do PR,
Yes.
I do partnerships with a
Okay.
lot of big companies. I'm more than just like what people like see or put me
Sure.
in the boxes,
And
I'm
it-
also Tyler as well. I
Yeah,
forget that,
right.
you
It's
know?
like I totally forget. Like I don't
Yeah.
never called you Tyler.
Isn't
You know?
it crazy the labels? Like people too, like they're like, oh, you're an influencer. And I hate it. Until I hit like 400K, I did not accept that title because I was like, please don't put me in that box.
You're right.
Like, you know what I mean? I am not, because I'm not showing up like that. But you're right. Once you have a certain amount of following, or like all of us can say
Yeah.
it, it's like, are we Sarah? Are we Eric? Are we
Yeah.
Tyler?
I have to
Like,
remind myself seriously.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I have a second Instagram. I have a second.
Oh, that's right.
my
Yeah.
personal.
I've been thinking about doing that, but I'm just like, oh, it doesn't
Could do a
matter.
private one just for
I
family
could.
and
I
like
could,
Yeah.
things you don't, want to share with the world.
You definitely
Yeah.
need to meet someone that doesn't know who you are, though.
I'm telling you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's going to be the best way.
That's going to
for
be the
me
best
to
approach for you. I think.
maneuver around
I mean, with anyone with a certain amount of followers. I mean, because like I said, you just look at a person differently. You just have a different perception. Whereas if they didn't have those followers,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
thought
they
process
wouldn't
would be
even look
different.
in my direction. It's just like,
Yeah,
I'm
like on a trip at a bar, sitting down, just talking to someone.
I wanted to ask you about. Take me from the start of releasing a song, like what goes into after that, like the promotions and everything, and how do you get it off the ground?
So I mean, there's a bunch of different processes. I could say like when I was working hand in hand with labels, they kind of have like your typical like media package route where they could do a bunch of email blasts. They'll send it out to a bunch of tabloids, which is great. I mean, like it saves me a lot of time and energy, like doing emails and all that stuff on my end. But one, it's a lot of money. Two, to me, it's really not that effective. Like the one thing that I've found super effective is just like trying to implement like skits or memes, and then maybe putting your music into the background.
Oh yeah.
Like I never
Yeah.
thought like the desirable truth was gonna like be the thing that like projects me forward, or you know, kind of just like the baby oil bottle. I don't know if
yeah. That video on their TikTok.
Yeah, I had a
how many views did that get?
25 million in like 4 hours.
25 million.
Yeah. Well,
and it has your song
with
in the
Kush
background?
Poppy.
Yeah. So well, it's not my song. Basically, it's my voice. And
Okay.
I had a friend. He's a really big influencer. He's kind of the person that still keeps me like motivated and like tuned into what
awesome.
I got going on. He has a friend that has like a 3D printer, and he had him print out like a Johnson and Johnson baby oil like bottle.
I know where this is going.
That was cut out, and it's like you have a hole in the face, so like he put his hole in the face of like the bottle. It's like if you go to like a carnival, you know, you could put your hole in the thing. It's like a scarecrow or something. So same thing, right? And on the Johnson and Johnson baby oil, it says like Diddy's oil or something. And this was right when Diddy got indicted, and like he's like, bro, record me, and he like comes out of his room with it, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is this? It's like the most random thing ever. But I remember I was actually still working for the gas station at the time. I uploaded at like 6 in the morning. I like exited the app, and all of a sudden like my phone started glitching. I'm like, this is actually going up. This is insane. Like people were commenting on it. I was getting a lot of hate from it, but some people were like, yo, this is gonna be my like Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Like, where's the link? We want to buy it. We want to buy it. We want to buy it. And we were like, oh, we should have capitalized, but it's just like you just never know. You know, it's that was the most random thing. I never thought that was gonna you know get any traction or get off the ground, and it did.
That's the time that we live in now. It's like, like I said, like I've been making it's because at the end of the day, I enjoy it, but I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have to grow on a platform. Right. You know, and some people, what's crazy to me is that when people are doing it without monetizing it or trying to progress it, it's just kind of for fun. I feel like you should, if you have a business, you should utilize that to grow your business.
100%.
Yeah, that's how I started completely. Like I don't usually do the trends. I just kind of stick to what I know, but I need to like step it out. 20 mils on the line here.
Seriously, like and honestly, like Kush was someone that like really put that in perspective for me. He's like, dude, like just like copy some people, you know, it'll get you like warmed up and be willing to try different things. And so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get better at that. Like there's this one trend that's going on right now that's like the bacon avocado thing.
Yeah, I saw you post that.
So I did that, and I just like did my own spiel of it, and like that, you know, that went up and stuff. But it's just like little stuff that you can like really like, you know, work around. Like, and you don't have to put a lot of time and emphasis on it. It's kind of just pay attention to how the, you know, original video was used, and then by using that sound or by using that same type of cadence, like your video will go up naturally in itself as well.
Yeah, to be more clever. I do like sometimes I'll pop on the trends, but I'm like, mine are never that clever, like unless it's like really good, you know?
Yeah.
Content creation. Remember we were talking about that. Like, how do you feel with that? Because I get anxiety sometimes. It gives me sometimes mental health problems.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's essential, and that's why like some people are like, I think a lot of things that people are telling me right now is like, yo, why aren't you promoting your album as much? And I definitely am not. I'm definitely like kind of like lowering the budget on like what I'm doing as far as like getting my music out there and actually just focusing on the content creation. Because when I'm doing that, I think it's like building an actual like genuine audience and a genuine impression, because they're getting a chance to like see like me in a vulnerable state. Even if I'm being funny, even if I'm being outlandish, they can relate to that for some reason, or they'll rather comment on that. And if they really like what I'm doing, it gives them the opportunity to kind of explore and be like, oh, wow, like he's actually good at music.
Yeah.
You know, because that's another thing that I've noticed too, is like you see a lot of artists that will just like push stuff in your face all day. And it's like, yo, we get it. You're an artist. You're working hard.
Yeah.
But like, you know, when we have time, we'll get around to it. So I'm just trying to do something in place where, you know, I'm putting content out there that might not be in everyone's face, maybe something that's funny. And then it'll give people that like window of opportunity if they want to listen or not.
Yeah, I think you should do like you got to get the music behind and get something viral with like your lyrics.
Yeah.
Like a trend, because I've seen a lot of people just blow up that way. But I know what you mean, because like I personally, like I know what videos of mine are going to do well. Anytime I take on like brand partnerships, you know, people technically don't want, like those don't get as many views as like my original stuff, because people immediately don't want to see it. So yeah, if you're pushing your brand constantly, people are going to be
you got a couple
kind of taken away from it.
You got a couple great videos where you kind of start off in the beginning where you're just kind of like reading like a lyric from your song, right? And then it goes into a kind of like a music video. Yeah. What's the process of making that? Because those are great.
Honestly, I think it was just like working with my good friend Saf and then Brandon. I've I've kind of ventured out a little bit and worked with other cameramen, but like the cameraman that I've worked with the most is Brandon. He is one of the owners of Milky Made It. It's a Chicago-based like cinematography company. They do a lot of shooting for like Z Money.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Mark and Brandon. I have a close relationship with Brandon. So we've been like working so much together probably since 2018, where like he has an idea of like how I want a video shot. So when we kind of come out, it's basically like a treatment, what it's called. When we kind of figure out a treatment, whether it's like a fully thought out music video or like a run and gun, he gives me those ideas where it's like, you know, even though we're shooting a music video, we can also use some of this footage and turn it into like a reel or turn it into like an interactive thing that you could put on YouTube Shorts. And that's like where you get the most like bang for your buck as far as working with like good engineers, good cameramen.
Yeah.
That's when they like want to see you succeed and they're giving you ideas on how to, you know, break down the footage, the content more and like get more out of it, you know?
I think just collaborating in general, you know, the more I collaborate with people, the more people I work with, like, you know, like us doing this right here. It's just, I love podcast number one just because we get to learn about each other. We never had a conversation really like this.
Yeah.
But now it's just it's all gonna grow into other things, and it just started from this.
100%. I believe, you know, great leaders help other leaders. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And I think like the most like, you know, how I've been able to like get to those next levels is by helping people. It's never really about me, but like if I could add value to someone else and like what they have going on, it is like a full 360. Like it does come back. So like when I do meet someone for the first time and I do like what they're doing, my first thought is always like, what can I do to help them? Not like, what they can do to help me, because it will help me in time.
Exactly.
It's like make sure that, you know, like I try to tell people, like make sure you can add value to what other people got going on too, because you know, it will pay you back.
That's rare. That's rare for you to say that, because most people are take. So.
Yeah, 100%. Especially
like
in the industry that we're in. Everyone just takes.
Yeah.
Wants to be a part of it some way or another. Or they're like giving you ideas to insert themselves, you know?
100%, yeah.
Because you could get ahead that way, but it's the gift that just keeps on giving. Like if you give first, it's going to come back to you. You're going to feel better, and it's just going to pay dividends the entire rest of your life.
Right, 100%. And I think another thing that goes along with that is like people just sometimes have to learn how to like play the back seat, you know? Like not everyone could be the quarterback, and I've learned that, right? I think Gunna is like a really good example of that, you know? He was working with Young Thug for a long time, but he was his producer, you know?
Okay.
And then he turned into an artist, and like he like enabled those, he watered those relationships when he was a engineer, a producer, and he turned into an artist.
Now he's huge.
Yeah, and now he's huge. He doesn't need Young Thug. He doesn't really need any label. He's like his own entity. And that's the same thing I try to tell people, like, you know, you still have an opportunity. Everyone's going to get their chance. Everyone will get their shot. Everyone will get their moment. But you have to learn how to play the field, and sometimes you're not going to be the quarterback, and that is okay. That is okay.
You just reminded me of your clip with was it Treehouse Cortatia?
Yeah.
And
Grata?
Is that? I said his name wrong.
I might be saying it wrong.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's Grata,
Man.
or
Sorry.
Gradia.
we gotta confirm that.
We got to confirm.
But the Treehouse Pod, shout out Treehouse Podcast. I mean, that was a really good clip. Can you remind me or tell everyone what that clip was about?
Basically, it's just reminding people that, like, no matter what you do, people are going to say stuff about you. So it's your job to not let the rest of the world, like, turn you cold, because that's what they're banking on, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people want to see your demise. Some people are only in your life because they're checking to see if you failed yet, to see if you did what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. There's the reason why they say, you know, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. But, you know, I truly believe, like, you know, just focus on yourself and make sure that whatever message you are putting out there, people can relate to it, and it's a positive message, you know?
And I think those people that what you're talking about would want to see your demise. A lot of times it's also not consciously. It's just because they're not happy with their life.
Yeah, they're projecting.
Yeah.
You know?
Happy
So it's not like they
people-
really want you to fail, but because they're not happy, they do
hurt
want
people
that.
hurt people.
Exactly.
And because I feel like myself and other people that I found that are really happy in their life, they want people to succeed.
100%.
They want people to be better. And I know working with people, it's going to get me success faster. So that's why I try to collaborate with as many people as possible.
I like that.
There's enough. There's definitely enough. I do say, like, online when I do get the hater comments, more times than not, it's like the account picture is like a flower.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have like no followers. You know what I mean?
Or
So
it's
I'm
like an egg or something.
yeah, or it's
some
like,
random
so it's
thing.
like somebody's hiding behind it because they don't
Yeah.
have the nerve to say it, but it is hurt people, hurt people. I've had friends literally who act like they're my greatest friend, and I do a lot for them because I'll be like, okay, come on this trip with me. I'll take care of it. Like kind of like bring the homies with type
Yeah.
thing. And then I'll just start noticing, like, I don't know if it's like jealousy or what happens. I'll start noticing the shift, you know, and that's the hardest part for me. I don't know if you ever deal with that, like your success, like you have somebody who's like rolling with you and you're taking care of them, but like, do you ever feel like you sometimes can start to see like they might be jealous? Do you ever run into that or not as much?
I don't necessarily think it's jealousy. I think sometimes it's like a lack of understanding that like sometimes I have friends that I've grown up with and they've seen me throughout my process of what I've done to be successful. And sometimes I've noticed that people think that there's a certain formula like that I have to do in order to get to like X, Y, and Z. And I try to like explain to them like, listen, like you can't just focus on the formula. You got to also focus on having fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're not having fun what you're doing, you're not in a good flow state. You're not going to put out the
Exactly.
best stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to tell people, I'm like, listen, if this is constructive criticism, I get it, I respect it, but like, don't do that while I'm dreaming. Like, if you're gonna point out flaw A, B, and C, we'll get to that when the time comes.
Yeah.
But don't do it while I'm dreaming because like I'm gonna do this for myself, and I need to do this, and I don't need to have someone chirping in my ear about
Yeah.
what's
You're
gonna go
strong.
wrong.
And
Yeah.
It's hard.
that's what got you through because
Yeah.
I went through that too. And I mean, you have too. It's just, I told him even starting this podcast, I'm like, there's going to be people that are going to be like super great for us. And there's going to be people who like laugh and mock at it.
Yep.
I got so mocked at in the beginning, you know, and it's like, it's so backwards to me because it's like, now you're at a bigger level, I'm at a bigger level, we all are. Once you're at that level, the mocking's less because people saw you made it and
Yep.
you're more confident because you made it. I'm like, but in the beginning when I really could have used you,
Yeah.
that's when I was getting like, the like laughing at me or making comments. So I feel like we're always just like working against ourselves,
Yeah.
as humanity.
I just think it hits different when it's like someone that like you really admire, you look up to, or your friends. Because that's
Yeah.
the stuff that hurts. Because it's like, yo, like you're supposed to be clapping for me, you're supposed to be advocating for me. But a lot of the times, early on, you're gonna be the only one in the room clapping for yourself. So you have to make sure it's you, no matter what. Everyone else will catch on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks when it's someone that you care about because it's like, like you gotta be happy for me,
Yeah. No, it's just something I dealt with. So I figured you've probably been there too.
Oh, 100%. I just don't let it bother me anymore. It used to get under my skin a lot, and I'm just like, dude, like, what are you talking about? But you got to also remember that a lot of the people that are criticizing you, they're not even in the game. They're like,
Yeah.
they're not even on the bench.
Yeah.
They're consumers, and we're producers. So there's a big difference between being a consumer. They consume every single thing that is given to them on social media. And of course they're going to critique it. Why? Because they're not a creative themselves and they don't have anything out there where people can judge them. I have enough content out there. Where
Yeah, that's a good
exactly.
point.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
like you're going to fail, but that's part of the process. Like I've failed so many times. I've looked like an idiot so many times and that is okay. And I think there's power in that and people respect me for that. And it's like, there's a really big human aspect in that.
It's
so
authentic.
yeah. So don't be discouraged because they're at the end of the day, they're consumers.
Yeah. You're not looking for for your hometown friends to follow you when you're starting. It's going to be strangers. And you hear it all the time. They're like, why isn't my network supporting me? It's never your network. It's always strangers because they see something in you. Like they see that light that others can't because maybe they've just seen too much of you, that it's like hard for them to see you in a new chapter.
100%. A stranger or a client will become a friend faster than a friend will become a client.
Yep.
Oh, I
It's
never heard
real.
that. That's actually real.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I'm not saying that for all friends.
No,
but,
yeah, exactly.
a lot of the times you do see that. I was at like a bar like 2 weeks ago, and this guy that like I guess I've met before, but like I'm meeting people so many times, and like I'm sure you guys are in the same boat where it's like you meet people, sometimes you forget. I'm a face person, so like if I see the face, like I'll know, but
sure.
name sometimes is hard.
Yeah.
Never.
Yes, in one ear out the other.
This guy, and I swear, like we were at like some random bar in like the suburbs of Chicago, North Shore, and this guy had a video of me from a year ago performing on the Sueños stage.
No way.
And I'm just like, wow, that was a surreal moment. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I generally don't remember this guy, and he remembered me, and he was like so excited when he saw me. He's
That's
like,
so cool.
dude, like you did your first like music festival on the stage, and like I was there, and like I remember you shook my hand and all this stuff. And ever since, he's like listened to all my music. So it was just like, it was a very like humbling feeling.
That's
Just like, wow, like this is cool. Like I got to keep going. You know, there people are that really do believe in me.
What are your hobbies outside of like music? Like, what do you do for fun?
I'm a big fan of traveling. I've spent a lot of time traveling since I
Where
left
were
my
you
9 to
just?
5. So I spent like a month in Medellin.
Sick.
Where
Like
is that?
Medellin is in Colombia.
Colombia.
Colombia. Ooh, okay.
So my good friend Robbie over here, he does live in Colombia
Oh, you
half
do?
of the year.
I didn't know
Yeah,
Oh.
and so
normal people say Median,
really
right?
What?
Like white people.
Median.
Yeah.
That's wild. I've
Yeah.
never heard that.
So really
before.
good
That's so
coffee?
funny.
Yeah.
Really good coffee. I mean, really great food. The people out there are amazing.
Her white stuff's good out there too.
It's just oh yeah, it's I think everything out there is just like insane. I tell people, I'm like, if you're not married yet, definitely go immerse yourself into that culture, because I think once you're married, you know, obviously you have boundaries, you have respect, like you can't like cross certain things. I probably want to go out to Colombia if I was married, but you know, if you're still single and you're out there, go out there for sure.
Would you meet your wife in Colombia?
I think so.
You would.
I was talking about that. I mean, like, it's just like, it's insane. Like, there's a lot of women that I met out there, and they're beautiful. And one thing that I've noticed is like the hot to ugly ratio out there is crazy. So it's like for every like 5 beautiful, I'm talking like tens.
Yeah.
Like, and this is primarily women. There probably might be one, maybe not as attractive, and I don't think it's like that all the time in the United States. And so like, you got to remember, there's such a high like population of like really good looking women, but they're so used to like the men out there like kind of just being like bums and not really caring for them
Yeah.
or providing for them. So then you have a man that comes from, you know, the United States, and you know, he looks good, he has a little bit of money, you know, they appreciate that. And it's like some of the women that I went out there, you know, I probably met them for like an hour, you know, we're out dancing, getting drinks, we go back to the Airbnb, and they're making, I'm literally not kidding, they'll make a full meal. Like, this
Yeah.
is insane. Like, that's very like wifey like energy. And
Oh
I'm
no,
like,
I don't know if you should tell this.
seriously, I've just
We
like
gotta step
never,
our game up.
I've never really experienced that in the United States. And it's like, I just met this girl an hour ago, and like I said, she's like cooking, she's doing the dishes, she's asking if I want my
Domesticated and high.
like if I want my laundry done. I'm like, yo, like where have you been my whole life?
and it
Like,
probably
this is
smells
insane.
really good. They probably
It
like,
smells amazing.
yeah, I know women like that. They're just like good at all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're good. I'm getting facials. I'm getting, you know, like
Do you want a traditional, like you're like down to have like a traditional relationship, like you work, wife at home, cooks,
yeah,
cleans.
100%.
That's what
I
you're
would do
looking
that.
for.
Like, and if they want to work, like that's 100% okay. But I would always give them the option if they don't want to.
That's
don't have to.
amazing because, like, honestly, obviously I work now, but like when I wasn't working, the feminine energy that I was able to have, that like right now, like I do love what I do and I'm very fortunate and it's cool to have my own thing. So I don't think I'd ever trade it. But I was much softer. I will say that. Like I was able to feel more, you know?
Right.
Sometimes I feel like I have like a little bit of that masculine, you know, energy because I have to.
Yeah,
I'm a CEO, I'm a
CEO.
boss, I'm running this. So I appreciate a man that is down to put his wife you know, at home.
Yeah, of
and
course.
let her be in that energy.
And like I said, like, you know, if I had a wife, I would always support her, and if she wanted to do something, she has my 100% backing. But it's just always like letting her know, like, if you don't want to do anything right now, or if you just want to chill and be with the kids, or you want to focus on yourself, that will be there. Like, I got us, you know, like it's never always going to be 50-50. I don't know who said this, but sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 40-60, but just letting her know that like I will believe in her fully no matter what she does.
We're gonna clip that and we're gonna find your wife
Please,
really quick. That's the viral one right here.
I'm begging, you know.
He knows. He says 80-20. You know all of it. That's really how marriage is. And I was telling him, this is what I was saying. How old are you?
I'm 27, turning 28 in January.
Okay, so they
Baby.
say.
I know,
here's a
right?
little-
I feel old though.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You are an old soul. But here's a statistic here. If you get married, which I told you about this, if you get married after 30, you skipped your first divorce. You're like right
Really?
there. So like, you know what?
Okay.
You're and
I like that.
Divorce
Whoa.
is-
I didn't even think about it like that.
yeah,
That's-
divorces. I've been
right.
through a divorce and it is not pretty. I
Really?
got married at 20.
No
And I had
way.
my kid at 22 and 24. He was 12 years older.
Okay.
And he was like more wanting me to be traditional, but I think kind of the thing that like got me, I didn't know who I was. When you're 20 years old, you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So taking the
Still
easy
baby
road of
baby.
staying
For
home
sure.
with the kids, but I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. So it was like I was unfulfilled. So I like that you're like, do what you want. Like you'll roll with it. But
100%. Yeah.
yeah, you're at the prime age. I thought you were like 35.
A lot of
the way you
people,
were talking
well,
about.
no, that life has hit me. That's why. It's so funny. That's another thing in the comments too, because like, they asked me how old I am, and someone was like, "Yeah, he's 27 in dog years," or like, or yeah,
no
he
way,
was
that's
27
hilarious.
in 2003. I'm like, oh my god, this
That's
is so
hilarious. Saying that you look old as fuck.
bad. Yeah, but I've definitely.
You really don't.
You don't.
Really
You look
You're
young,
just
dude.
mature. It's the way you
Okay,
talk.
thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that because I really do feel like I need to like rush my butt down to Turkey and like get it
You know,
hairline
just-
transplant.
I got you.
Okay.
I'll send you a PR kit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
I love that. I love.
What
that.
are you working on right now? Anything you want to plug?
So nothing specific. I'm like very happy with the release of Lone Star Ranger. Obviously working on side projects with Mike and Kush for Ravioli.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. What's your involvement with them too?
So I do a lot of like director stuff. I try to help them with operations. I do a lot of public relation with them. So we did like a ravioli tasting experience at Gino and Marty's. You were there.
That was great.
Mike and Kush were the ones that were able to get Gino and Marty's on board. I have a good friend, John Cote.
I love John.
I reached out. Great guy.
Yeah.
He's always just like such
Shout out John Cote Events.
Shout out John Cote and John Cote Events, man. I reached out to him, but at the time he was on vacation, kind of gave him a rundown of like what we were looking for as far as the event and sponsorship. And he told me he loved it, but he just told me he wasn't going to be back in time to execute it. So he put me in contact with the director of operations.
Nice.
And we were able to get I think like 25 or 30 cases from them, which was great. You know, I think it allowed people to like, you know, get some alcohol in their system, kind of venture out, try all the different ravioli. I know, you know, Gino and Marty's made like a pretty like good buck off the.
It was a great event.
Yeah, the bar.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. I walked in there, the place was filled with smoke. I'm like,
Is
all
this
right.
like ravioli, like place I need to go for
What,
ravioli?
no, let her know what you ravioli. Let everyone know.
Basically, what
It's weed.
ravioli is. It's weed.
Oh, I was like,
Nope.
cheese ravioli.
Ravioli's a brand of weed.
So yeah, so
Okay, so
it's-
this is weed. Okay.
Yeah, so it's an Italian-based weed brand that was started by my good friend Kush Poppy and his cousin Mike. They work really hard together. They probably started this a little bit over a year ago, but they were working on like licensing with the state and, you know, getting things together with the bag. Basically, what ravioli is, I'm sure you've seen like an eighth bag before.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so, our eighth bag is actually like made out of a ravioli.
It's the shape of a ravioli.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
and you're
hilarious.
like stuffing the ravioli.
Essentially,
like,
so you know-
whatever you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
in there.
So you know how there's
Yeah.
meat and cheese in a
Yeah, you
in
do
a
like
ravioli.
a lobster ravioli.
Yeah, essentially. So that's like the same concept,
Okay, I
right?
love
But like
it. It's very
each different
cute.
strain is something different. So when we partnered with Gino and Marty's, they actually made like 4 different styles of ravioli that reflected and resembled the different weed strains that we were coming out with that we launched. You know, so even if people weren't going there because they weren't smokers, they would still be a way to like be a part of it just by actually having the ravioli, like tasting it. And it was a really good event, man. I'm super happy for them, and I'm so excited to see like where they're going to be in the next year with it.
Yeah, it's great because I mean Kush Poppy is huge, you know, and when you start something when you've already have a good platform, it propels so much faster. So I'm really happy for them with that. I haven't smoked it yet. I'm a pen guy.
Okay.
Are you more pen or flower?
I think like if I'm at the house and I'm just like, you know, just chilling, definitely pen. I don't like smoke in my house because it smells bad.
Yeah.
If I'm like socially butterfly and stuff, or I'm with like a large group, like I'm probably smoking weed. I just like know that as I've gotten older, I'm like my tolerance is getting a little lower just because like
Really?
I have asthma. I shouldn't even be smoking
Oh.
to begin
Yeah.
with, but like, you know, I grew up smoking weed and like I'd probably rather smoke than drink.
Yeah,
truthfully.
same. I am. I'm
Less
totally there now.
hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get anxiety from smoking weed. So
Yeah,
It's, not,
so-
it's out. It's not for me.
That's what I was about to say. I was at like one of Twan's sets at like the Langham,
Yeah.
and I hit like a brand new Cardi, and I told him I was like, I have to go sit in my car. I'm having an anxiety attack.
Really?
Yeah, so it's happened to me sometimes, and
I
like,
don't get that.
it's the worst.
yeah, it's like a freak thing. Like I don't know. Maybe it is me getting older, but I just know that like I don't need a lot of weed anymore to.
Yeah. You know what I
be
think
there.
it's from? Because I started getting it, and I remember like, because I used to smoke. I think it was our generation. Like back in the day, we do blunt drives, right? And everyone's
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
Down
And
Lakeshore Drive.
yeah, just like whatever. And like, I'm trying to keep up with everyone. I don't even know if I ever really liked smoking weed. I was just like trying to be cool. And then it got to a point where like every single time I'd be in my head and I'd be like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? you're a loser. Like, you know what I mean? And then I like think of those commercials
Yeah.
because it wasn't as normalized. Now it's normalized.
Yes.
But like back in the day, it was illegal.
They make you feel bad for doing it.
Yeah, I remember those like Dare commercials, and it was like the person was like flat.
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
this is what happens.
When you smoke weed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like,
So I'm
what?
like, I don't know. And then ever since then, I've just been so hesitant to try it. But I know strains are important.
Yeah.
So I could probably learn from the ravioli.
So I don't get that. Like when you have those anxiety moments from so much weed, like what do you do to get yourself? Is it just time? Like, well, how does you get yourself out of it?
Honestly,
for people that deal with that.
I think it's for me, it's breath control because
We're talking about that.
Yeah.
I for some reason, like when I get super anxious, something doesn't connect in my brain where I'm like, yo, I'm not breathing right now. So that's why I feel like I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like really try to focus on regulating my breath work.
I was just thinking about my breath now.
That helps a lot.
That is it. I had a panic attack literally yesterday. And I remember, I think I was actually texting you, but I was in a car home. My cousin, we're going to my boat.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, okay, I got to get work done because I want to show her a good time. And I'm like, I don't know, talking to suppliers, whatever. And I like all of a sudden felt my heart like, you know, like kind of stop. And I'm like, I'm not breathing.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I
not
mean? And that's what it is. And then
breathing.
by that point, it's game over. I'm like, is it low blood sugar? I'm like trying to eat chips, drink water.
Yeah. I mean,
not
once you
fun.
figure that out though, and you could start like regulating it, it helps so much better. But like, if you're someone new that's like has no idea what's going on, it really feels like you're dying. Like
Yes.
having a heart
Oh,
attack.
yeah.
And I try to tell people that I'm like, it's okay. You're just having an anxiety attack. You just gotta.
Oh yeah, you will want to rush yourself to the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
100%.
this is it. This is the moment.
Yeah.
I
Ready
had-
to fly away.
I don't fuck with edibles anymore. The first time I had a little piece of a cookie, I was with my girlfriend. I thought I was gonna die. I'm like, take me to the hospital. I feel like I'm gonna die. So yeah, I get it. That's why I don't fuck with them anymore. I just smoke pens. That's all I
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
No, anxiety is the absolute worst. I mean, I've gotten good at controlling it because it's so oft like anything could get me going. Like even if I have a big day, I won't even realize it, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh,
Do you remember what the first thing that like triggered it? Like I could tell you when I was younger, I think the first time I had an anxiety attack was like I was at like the Wisconsin State Fair, and there was like a bunch of like cups of like soda Pepsi specifically that was like all over the wooden table.
Wow, so vivid.
And there was, I'm telling you, I just remember this because I was like, this is the first time I thought I was gonna die. So I'm like, whoa.
you'll never forget your first
Yeah,
one.
I'll never forget
Yeah.
it. So what gave me anxiety was that there was a bunch of wasps all over the table, and as I was walking by it, they all flew past my ear. They didn't really touch me. They flew past my ear, and it felt like
Heard
someone
it.
had a buzzer to my ear. You know
No
what I mean?
way.
Getting it fade.
Yeah.
So that like freaked
I
me
bet.
out. It freaked me out. So sometimes I get that like when I'm like around too many people, or like kind of just like when I was in the lane cam and like I felt like everyone was looking at me, like considering where the DJ booth was positioned, I just felt like everyone was looking at me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, being aware of that is super important though.
Yeah, it's like I think anxiety is too. It's like becoming aware when you like weren't thinking about anything. It's like all of a sudden it hits you. You have like a million things going on in your mind. I'll be in deep thought, and then all of a sudden I'm like, like you know what I mean? It's like a lot's
Yeah.
going on, and then, but
I think it's almost time to wrap it up. I just think of anything when I ask them, but how I like to end every episode is a shout out. Someone that you love, appreciate, anyone that you that you're grateful for. We like to be on some wholesome shit here.
Man, I want to just say shout out to my dad. This guy's a living legend. He's going to be almost 90 years old in August. He's lived through a lot, and he doesn't have a lot, you know. He doesn't have like a college education or anything, but that dude's like my superhero, and I've learned a lot from him. So shout out to my dad.
shout out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So where could people follow you? And like I said, if you had anything else you want to plug it.
You guys could follow me on Instagram at Mercxcet. That's Mercxcet. The O is replaced with an X. Same thing on Instagram, or same thing on TikTok and YouTube, but actually with an O, so Mercocet. And you know, I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you guys for having me on here. And you know, let's just keep working at it. I think this is going to be a great year for all of us,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see, you know, where we're all at the end of the year.
Me too.
Merc is in the building. Thank you guys for watching How'd You Get Here podcast. See you next time.
Thank you guys.